Rajeshwari MJ. She pursued her BE in Electrical and Electronics at the People's Education Society College of Engineering, Mandya. She pursued her MTech in VLSI Design and Embedded Systems at the Sri Jagadguru Balagangadharanta Institute of Technology, Bangalore. Her personal skills lie in good verbal and written communication skills. Her areas of interest lie in OOPS with C++, renewable energy sources, HVDC transmission, digital relays, automotive electronics, advances in VLSI design. She has also had papers presented at the national level, such as the Innovative Architecture for SoC Multi-Core Hybrid Processor, presented at the RNSIT, Bangalore.
Welcome to UGC lecture series of BSc Physics Honours. Today we are dealing with the subject Digital Electronics. In this we have three sections, that is Introduction to CRO and Analog Circuits and Digital Circuits. So, now we come to the last part of the analog circuit section. So, that is dealing with the 555 timer. 555 timer is basically a timer that is used for many applications in electronic device nowadays. We can say it is widely used in almost all the devices, and its application is mainly in oscillator, and also it is used to get delay pulses, because with the work of a 555 timer is precision. The precision of a 555 timer is such a way it can't be compared with any other timers, but the pulse that we get is accurate from the 555 timer. So, it has many applications. So, the topics that we are going to discuss today in 555 timer is the pin details of 555 timer and basic concept of 555 timer, and also there are two modes in 555 timer, that is the astable mode and monostable mode. Let us start with the basic definition and where we are going to use this 555 timer. And as I said, the 555 timer is most widely used, and it is due to its accurate output. The pulses that we get is of more precise. So, we are there is a wide range of applications. So, what are the things that we are going to observe from the 555 timer is it is also can be used as a delay pulses. So, for getting delay pulses we can use the 555 timer, and also as an oscillator we can use. And why the 555 timer got its name as a 555? Because there are three resistors. Three resistors are used in the internal block of an IC of a 555 timer, because we need to give a comparator a voltage. That voltage has to be maintained with the help of resistor. So, this resistor will going to divide the voltage in such a way to operate the capacitor. So, we need to have this three series of resistor that will going to connect to the comparator. So, that is why we are going to call a 555 timer. And also the 555 timer is very cheap, and the duty cycle of the 555 timer it is ranges from 50 to 100%. Next we move on to pin details. It is very important for further studies, because all these pin details will give us a specific internal functions of each pins, and whenever we say 1, 2 or 3 we need to remember what exactly all these pins stands for and what exactly all these three pins internally connected to. So, pin name, the ground there are actually 8 pins in a 555 pin details, 1 to 8 will be there, and it will be showing in the diagram like this from 1 and it goes to 8. The very first will be ground, that is input pin, and this ground will be provides the ground for a IC, and second pin, the number 2 pin is a trigger, that is also input type of pin, and this input type of trigger pin will going to help us to trigger the comparator input pin. There will be 2 comparator that we are going to study in the next upcoming slides. Internally there will be a 2 comparator inside the IC of 555 timer. So, the trigger comparator input will help in a negative trigger, and this negative trigger is applied in a monostable operation. So, Next will be the third pin output, that is output type of pin, it will going to give us an output. Next will be reset, the fourth pin number will be reset, that is an input pin, internal flip flop reset pin. So, the flip flop is also one of the component that will be inside the IC. So, this will be resetted with the help of pin number 4. Next will be 5 control pin, that is also input type of pin. The control voltage input to control charging discharging of external capacitor. So, through this control input we are going to control the charging and discharging of a capacitor. And number 6 pin, that is called as threshold, that is of also type of input. Threshold comparator input pin will going to give a positive trigger that is applied in a bistable operation. Everything we are going to discuss this bistable or a monostable in upcoming slide. These are the different mode of operation of a 555 timer, that is bistable is one mode and monostable is also another mode. Next, the 7th pin is a discharge pin, that is input type, and this will going to help us in a provides a discharge path to the external capacitor. There will be external capacitor will be there. With the help of this pin we are able to get a discharge path. The last will be 8th pin, that is VCC, that is the input that from where we are going to give the supply for the IC. For positive biasing voltage, that the voltage range will be of range 4.5 volt to 16 volts. Next we move on to basic concepts, how the internal blocks of a 555 IC timer will be. The basic concept will be like this. It has 3 things. Internally the blocks will be having 3 things. One is comparator, we can observe from this figure, we can able to observe clearly. There will be 2 comparator and one flip flop will be there and the discharge capacitor will be there. These are the 3 important things that we need to remember, and also the voltage divider. Obviously, this will going to help us to give a voltage to the comparator, so that we can able to operate the flip flop through this comparator. So, the comparator will be having a if the non-inverting input to the comparator is high, the output of a comparator will be high. This is one of the concept with the comparator operation here, and also the comparator will be having a high input resistance. So, we can say the resistance will be of infinite. So, the resistance is infinite, we need to give a particular voltage to operate the comparators. This can be achieved with the help of the voltage divider resistors will be there. This voltage divider resistors will going to help us to provide a voltage to the input of comparator. So, next we move on to voltage divider. The input resistance, as we know, it is very high for the comparator, hence this voltage has to be divided equally. So, we need 3 equal resistors that will going to help us for getting a voltage. So, the value being V in by 3 across the each resistor has to be maintained. So, the last will be flip flop. This flip flop is a memory device. As we know, the flip flop is a memory device, and here the flip flop type used is SR type of flip flop, and how it is operate means when the output Q of the flip flop is high, in the sense the S input S will be high and R will be low, and when the output Q is low, in the sense the input S will be low and R will be high. This is the way how the flip flop will going to operate. So, next we move on to internal block diagram. As we already discussed, the internal block diagram will consist of 2 comparators. One we call as trigger comparator and another we call as threshold comparator. So, these 2 comparator will be connected to the non-inverting input will come connected to the voltage divider circuit, and the number 2 pin of a IC is going to connect to the inverting of a trigger comparator. So, this is in the threshold comparator, the pin number 6 will be the non-inverting terminal, and the inverting terminal will connect it to the control voltage. So, this is how we are going to connect the comparator, and the outputs of both the comparator will going to connect to the flip flop, flip-flop input. The output of the both the comparator will be the inputs to the flip-flop. This is how we can able to find the different connections of internal block diagram from, and also from these we can also observe that 1 by 3 VCC if we give to the non-inverting terminal of a trigger comparator, and 2 by 3 VCC is given to the inverting terminal of a threshold comparator. When negative trigger, that is lesser than the 1 by 3 VCC is applied at a trigger input pin, the trigger comparator what will goes, it will gives us a high output, that will going to make a flip-flop in a reset condition. So, in a reset conditions, in the sense the output will be high. So, the Q will be high. So, when and the next condition, when the positive trigger, that is greater than 2 by 3 VCC, if we give to the threshold input of a to the input of a threshold comparator, this will makes the high output of a comparator high and makes a flip-flop to set. So, this comparator will helps to set the flip-flop, and this comparator will make to reset the filter, and hence this threshold comparator will make to set the flip-flop output will be in a low, the output of the flip-flop will be in low condition. So, at that time when there will be a low in the output of a flip-flop, the capacitor will going to charge. So, this will make us a clear picture of how the internal connections of the flip-flop, comparator and voltage divider circuit will be. Next will be types of multi-vibrator. There are two, actually there are two types of multi-vibrator. One is astable multi-vibrator and another one is monostable multi-vibrator. Astable, the name itself says astable means there is stability is absent. The stability is absent in the sense there will be no stable state, and the signal will be have two quasi state. So, this quasi state will be like that. It is having a predetermined period of time. The pulse will going to occur only in the predetermined period of time. So, the duration of the pulse occurrence is already predefined. So, when we are going to define it at particular time only, the pulse will going to generate. So, this multi-vibrator does not have any trigger trigger circuits inside. It does not require any trigger input. So, it is called also called as self trigger multi-vibrator. So, and also we can able to get only actually it changes from high to low or low to high for a predetermined period of time. We can able to get a pulse of high to low or low to high. So, monostable multi-vibrator. In monostable multi-vibrator, it is having two state, one is stable state, another one is quasi state. It is having both the states in the multi-vibrator. It jumps from quasi state to stable state and stable state to quasi state. Stable state in the sense if it is in the low state, that is a stable state, it immediately if it gets a trigger, then it jumps to the quasi state and it stays in the quasi state up to a predefined period of time, and again it jumps back to the stable state, that is low state. So, this is how a monostable multi-vibrator works. Next, we move on to the important things in detailed study of astable mode. Just now we know about the definition of astable mode and the monostable definition, and now we are going to study in detail about the astable mode. So, how the internal connection of a astable will be? The picture will going to show you everything about the details of a astable. Here we can observe all these three will be the voltage divider circuit will be having equal resistance RRR, and here we can also observe the comparator, the threshold comparator and trigger comparator will also having two capacitor, and RA, RB resistors are externally connected to the IC. So, RA and RC we are going to connect through RA is connected to the VCC and 7th pin, and RB is connected across 7th pin and also to the threshold non-inverting terminal or 6th pin of a threshold comparator, and 0.5 microfarad capacitor is connected to the 5, that is control pin, to the ground, and the output is taken from the pin number 3 and ground, and this trigger, the trigger or the input trigger is shorted. The trigger comparator input, one of the trigger comparator input is shorted with the input of a threshold comparator. This is very important. Here we need to notify the comparator input of a trigger comparator is shorted with the threshold comparator input here. This is we need to realize here from the picture, and this is how, if the connection is made, it will work as a stable multi-vibrator. And also pin number 8 is connected to VCC for positive bias, and the pin number 1 here, it is connected to the ground for getting a negative bias. Next we move on to the operation. This operation deals with the circuit and its internal components. So, we already know this is a basic circuits of a astable multi-vibrator, and it is also having a capacitor and the external resistor connected to the trimer circuit to make it work as a astable multi-vibrator. So, when the comparator will going to works as when this non-inverting input will get a voltage of 2/3 VCC. So, it will going to make the comparator to operate, and we will get the output as high. This will going to make the flip flop in a reset condition. So, the Q will be high. Whenever the Q will be high, this transistor does not work and it will act as a off, it will be in off mode. So, the VCC will going to have a supply, and the capacitor at this point of time will be in a charge condition. So, the capacitor charges through RA plus RB. So, where when 2/3 VCC it reaches. So, when the voltage is of 2/3 VCC, the capacitor will be in a charge condition. And also the supply, when we are going to give 1/3 of VCC, that is for this comparator, for threshold comparator, if we give the input as 1/3 of VCC, this makes the output of the comparator will be off in a low mode, and it will going to give a flip flop set state, and the output will be low. This makes the transistor to turn on, and this will going to help us to again discharging of the capacitor. Whenever it reaches the 1/3 of VCC, it will start again charging. So, this is how the astable operation of a 555 timer works. Next we move on to important thing, that is the design. Knowing the operation and also its working and its internal connections, we can able to design. So, what are the things we can able to get? Is a period. So, we need to have a particular period of pulse as an output from the multi-vibrator. So, how we can able to achieve this? So, with the help of formula, and also we need to change the internal value of some of the components in the IC. So, what are the components that we need to change? Components value we need to change. Let us see, and the formula we have to derive is the time during which the capacitor C charges from 1/3 VCC to 2/3 VCC is equal to the time the output is high and is given as this 1/3 VCC to 2/3 is called as high. That is what the VCC will go high only during this period. So, we need to consider this as a high period, that is TH, that is equal to 0.693 into RA plus RB, this external resistor. RA and RB, that is multiplied with the capacitance of this external capacitor. So, this is one thing we can find out, and also the another thing is the voltage across the capacitor at any instant during the charging period is given by. So, across this capacitor there will be voltage, because it is going to charge and it is going to get some charge on it. So, there will be existence of voltage. So, this voltage will be Vc is equal to Vcc into 1 minus E to the power of t divided by Rc. Next, the time taken by the capacitor to charge from 0 to 1 by 3 Vcc. So, we need to take this as another thing. The time has to be calculated, that is from 0 to 1 by 3 Vcc. So, 1 by 3 Vcc is equal to Vcc into 1 minus e power of t divided by Rc will be the value for time taken by capacitor to charge from 0 to 1 by 3 Vcc. So, the time taken by the capacitor to charge from 0 to 2 by 3 Vcc. So, from 0 to 2 by 3 Vcc, what will be the time the capacitor has to be taken, that is also calculated with the help of this, that is T2 is equal to Rc into log E, log to the base E 3, that is equal to 1.0986 Rc, and this is the T2. So, the time taken by the capacitor to charge from plus 1 by 3 Vcc to plus 2 by 3 Vcc, this is what the Th from here to here, that is given by Tc is equal to T2 minus T1, that is equal to 1.0986 minus 0.405 Rc, that is equal to 0.693 Rc. This is what we get initially, this is we defined, this is what we need to derive. So, this is derived from all these 3 steps. So, finally, we got the high time, that is where we call as the capacitor is charging, the capacitor charging time or Th will be calculated with the help of this formula, that is 0.693 Rc. So, finally, substituting R is equal to Ra plus Rb, we will get Th is equal to 0.693 Ra plus Rb into C, where Ra and Rb are in ohms and C are in farad. Next, also this distance again continue, we need to find the duty cycle also for this. The time during which the capacitor charges from plus 2.3 Vcc to 1 by 3 Vcc is equal to the time the output is low, that we can observe from the figure again, where we are able to observe from the figure this position is called, this part is called as a T low, that is from 2 by 3 Vcc to 1 by 3 Vcc. So, this will be expressed as T low is equal to 0.693 Rb into C, and here R will be in ohms and C will be in farads again. So, this has to be derived in the following step. The voltage across the capacitor at any instant during discharging period, that is given by Vc is equal to 2 by 3 Vcc e to the power of t d divided by Rb into C, and again here we need to substitute for substituting Vc value here, that is Vc is equal to 1 by 3 of Vcc and T is equal to Td. So, finally, we got the expression 1 by 3 of Vcc is equal to plus 2 by 3 Vcc to the power of e to the power of minus Td divided by Rb into C. So, finally, the Td value will be 0.693 Rbc. So, the overall now the low period also we found out, and also high period also we found out in the previous session here, previous slide. From these two we can able to get the overall period. The overall period of oscillation will be T is equal to T high plus T low. So, that is equal to 0.693 Ra plus 2 Rb into C, that is what we get the period of a oscillation. So, the overall oscillation period will be 0.693 Ra plus 2 Rb into C. So, this will be the period. So, if we need to find the frequency means, that is a reciprocal of this period. So, that also can be found out from the above expression. Therefore, f is equal to 1 by t, that is equal to 1.44 divided by Ra plus 2 Rb into C. So, this is for frequency and this is the period of oscillation, and finally, we come to the duty cycle. So, from the above expression what we observed is that the frequencies of oscillation is independent of the collector supply voltage. So, the supply voltage is not at all related to frequency. So, the frequency is not at all dependent on the supply voltage. So, finally, we come to duty cycle ratio. The ratio of the time Tc during which the output is high to the total time period is given as duty cycle. So, Tc, that is D is equal to Tc divided by, that is high time, when the period of high and also divided by total period will be the duty cycle. So, Tc divided by T multiplied by 100, because duty cycle is always represented in a percentage. So, Ra plus Rb, substituting the Tc value here, Ra plus Rb divided by Ra plus 2 Rb, that multiplied by 100, that going to gives us a duty cycle. Next we move on to, till now we are able to discuss about duty cycles and also the high period, low period expression and also overall period of an oscillation. Now how we are able to achieve a 50% duty cycle? If we want to change the duty cycle, how we can able to achieve, and how we are able to maintain exactly 50% duty cycle? Here we can able to find out that an extra diode for the normal astable multi-vibrator using 555 timer. Now that diode will going to help us in maintaining a 50% of duty cycle, because during the charging time here the current will going to flow through Ra and pin 7, and during the discharging time the current will going to flow from Rb through Rb and it will going end up in a 7th pin. This will make us a charging as well as discharging time of equal time, so that we can able to achieve the 50% of a duty cycle. So, by connecting a diode across the Rb, we can able to find 50% duty cycle and a astable multivibrator. Next, the uses of astable mode are, it can be used as free running mode, and also it can be used as an oscillator, and also it can be used in included in LED and lamp flashers, because we can able to operate in a particular time, like whenever it blinks or continuously blinking or for certain time it can blink. All this can be achieved with the help of 555 timer, and it also can be used as a pulse generator, logic clock, tone generation, security alarms, pulse position modulation. In all these things we can able to use the astable mode. Next is monostable mode. In the monostable mode there is a slight difference in the internal connection, that is we are going to use only one resistor. This resistor is connected to the trigger input of a comparator or number 2 pin to the VCC. So, this will going to connect to the VCC terminal and as well as a trigger input of a comparator, and also the same thing, the control output or pin number 5 of a threshold comparator will going to connect through a capacitor, 0.1 microfarad capacitor, and it is grounded. Again the another capacitor is connected to the threshold comparator, pin number 6, and it is grounded across it. So, this is slight difference between the astable and monostable. We are going to eliminate one of the one resistor from here, and it is going to connect it in another here, and that resistor is here. The R is connected to the VCC, and also it is the another terminal is connected to the pin number 7. The working of a monostable multivibrator will be like this, will be in a stable state when the output will be on a low until it is triggered. So, the monostable multivibrator will be in its stable state, that is in its low states until it is triggered. When it is in low state, the current will be flowing like this, that is 2/3 VCC is given for the upper comparator and 1/3 VCC is given to the lower comparator. By this the comparator output of both comparator output will be 0, and this will make the flip flop output 1 and the chip output will be low. This is when the IC the monostable vibrator will be in stable mode. Next, when a negative trigger is applied to the trigger pin of 555 timer, or output of the lower comparator will be high and the output of the upper comparator will be low. Since the capacitor voltage is 0, this makes the output high. So, here we can observe the current is flowing here, and when this happens, because we are going to give the trigger input here. So, the output of a high C will be high. The next case, the discharge transistor turns off and the capacitor starts charges through the resistor R to VCC. The capacitor will going to charge through R and VCC. So, this will makes the entire chip in a high condition due to the comparator output 0 0 and the flip flop output of 0, because the capacitor will going to charge and it will going to makes a current to flow from R to VCC. Next, when the capacitor voltage will become greater than 2/3 VCC, output of comparator becomes high and that the lower comparator remains low. So, the output will be in a low, the entire chip output will be in the low. This turns on the discharge transistor and the capacitor discharges. So, this will going to turns on the discharge transistor. This will going to turns on the discharge transistor and the capacitor starts discharging in this condition, and the circuits will be in stable state until the next trigger pulse will be get into the circuit. Next, the design of a monostable will be like this. The capacitor exponential charges to 2/3 VCC and through time constant of RC. So, the time required to reach the 2/3 VCC will be TD is equal to 1/1 RC. This is what the total time for charging the capacitor, that is equal to 1.1 in R into C. So, finally, we come to the end of this session. The summary, in the summary we need to memorize the things, that is 555 timer applications, because of precise pulse generation we can able to use it in many applications, and it also having two modes, that is astable mode and a monostable mode. In a astable mode there is only one mode, that is quasi mode, and in the monostable mode there is two mode, that is one is stable mode and another is quasi mode. The questions are: explain the pin configuration of 555 timer, how does the astable multi-vibrator works, explain the working of monostable multi-vibrator, mention the application of astable and monostable multi-vibrators. So, the references for this session are talkingelectronics.com, allaboutcircuits.com. Book reference are Operational Amplifiers and Linear Integrated Circuits by Robert F. Coughlin and Frederick F. Driscoll, and Op Amps and Linear Integrated Circuits by R. A. Gaikwada. This ends the session. Thank you.